This message didn't find you by accident. It found you because your soul is finally ready to heal. There comes a moment in every soul's journey when the noise of the world becomes too loud and the whispers within you begin to rise. This is that moment. You didn't arrive here by chance. You arrived because a deeper part of you, the part that remembers who you truly are, has been waiting for you to finally pause, to finally breathe, to finally listen. Tonight, allow yourself to be here fully. You've spent so much time surviving that you forgot what it feels like to simply exist. You forgot the softness within you, the clarity that once guided you, the innocence that life once carried. But none of it is lost. Your soul doesn't forget, even when your mind does. And right now, as you listen, you can feel something inside you beginning to wake again. You're stronger than you act, softer than you show, and wiser than you believe. The world shaped you, but it never defined you. You are not the pain you walked through. You are not the people who hurt you. You are not the memories that still haunt you. You are the one who kept going, even when it felt like you had nothing left. That perseverance is your spirit speaking. Let this be the moment. You finally stop running from yourself. It's safe now. You can sit. You can breathe. You can finally look at the wounds. You've been hiding beneath layers of strength. Healing doesn't begin when pain disappears. Healing begins the moment you stop pretending you're okay, when you're not. And right now, you are choosing truth. You have given so much of your energy to people who never knew how to hold you. You poured yourself into spaces that were never meant to keep you. And still, your heart has remained open, your spirit soft, your soul faithful. There is a sacredness in the way you continue loving, despite every reason not to. That is the beginning of awakening. Close your eyes, just for a moment. Feel the weight on your chest. Feel the tension in your shoulders. Feel the heaviness behind your thoughts. These are not signs of weakness. They are signs of carrying too much, for too long. Your soul is asking you to release what was never yours to hold. You don't have to carry everything anymore. Somewhere along the way, you silenced parts of yourself to make others comfortable. You hid your truth to avoid disappointing people who never tried to understand you. But your spirit is tired of shrinking, tired of pretending, tired of dimming its own light. Tonight is the night your soul expands again. There is a version of you that exists beyond fear, beyond doubt, beyond the expectations of others. A version of you that walks with peace, that trusts its own path, that chooses life with intention. You have felt glimpses of this self before, but now you're ready to become them fully. Listen gently. Your breathing has softened. Your mind is quieter now. You're entering a space your soul recognizes, the space where truth begins. You don't find clarity by forcing it. You find clarity by surrendering to what's real. And what's real is that you are evolving. You've walked through seasons you didn't deserve. You've cried over losses you never expected. You've healed from wounds you never asked for. And still, here you are, willing to grow, willing to understand, willing to begin again. That willingness is the doorway to transformation. Sometimes the universe whispers. Sometimes it removes what no longer serves you. Sometimes it breaks you, so you can discover the parts of yourself you once abandoned. Every ending you lived through was preparing you for the beginning you're stepping into now. You are not being punished. You are being redirected. Your past does not own you. Your scars do not shame you. Your mistakes do not define you. They shaped you, yes, but they did not destroy you. Your story is not a tragedy. Your story is a resurrection. And tonight, you rise again. Take a slow breath. Feel the truth settling inside you. You are not lost. You are transitioning. You are not broken. You are rebuilding. You are not hopeless. You are preparing for a version of life you once prayed for without even realizing it. Forgive yourself for not knowing what you know now. Forgive yourself for showing love to people who didn't deserve it. Forgive yourself for staying where your soul was begging you to leave. You did the best you could with the awareness you had. You have survived every dark chapter life has placed before you, and even in the worst moments, you never lost your capacity to feel deeply, to hope quietly, to dream secretly. That softness within you is not weakness. It is divine resilience. You don't have to become someone new to be worthy of love. You only need to return to who you were before life tried to harden you. The world needs your softness. The world needs your presence. The world needs the real you, the one you're finally remembering. You deserve a life that doesn't feel like a fight. You deserve relationships that don't drain your spirit. You deserve moments that make you feel alive, not exhausted. You deserve peace, and not just sometimes, always. Notice how your body feels right now. A little lighter, a little clearer, a little freer. That's the power of awareness. The moment you see yourself honestly, everything begins to shift. Your healing is not happening in the future. It's happening now. In this breath, in this awareness, in this moment of returning to yourself, your soul has been waiting patiently for you to come home. Your story is not over. Your spirit is not done. Your path is not closed. You are stepping into a new beginning, one where you are guided, protected, and aligned. This is the rebirth of you. There are wounds inside you that you've carried for years. Quiet wounds, private wounds, the kind that don't bleed on the outside, but ache with every memory. You learn to smile through them, to stay strong through them, to pretend they didn't shape you. But they did. Not in the way that broke you, but in the way that deepened you. Your pain has given you wisdom that cannot be taught. You are not fragile. You are refined. Every time you doubted yourself, the universe was whispering, "Keep going. You're closer than you think." Every time you felt abandoned, life was actually clearing space for something purer, something aligned, something meant to stay. You haven't been losing. You've been transforming, and transformation rarely feels gentle. You've spent so long questioning your worth because of people who were blind to it. But hear this clearly. Their inability to see your light was never a reflection of your value. Some people aren't meant to recognize souls like yours. Your softness is a rare frequency. Not everyone is tuned in to hear its truth. Look at how far you've come, not in achievements or milestones, but in spirit. Look at the storms you survived. Look at the nights you cried, but still rose the next morning. Look at the pieces of yourself you've rebuilt with trembling hands. Strength isn't loud. Sometimes strength is simply choosing to stay alive when everything in you felt broken. Your heart has always been your compass, even when you didn't know where you were going. You feel deeply, sometimes too deeply, and that has been both a blessing and a burden. But your sensitivity is not something to hide. It is the purest part of you. It's the doorway to intuition, the language of your soul. There are chapters of your life you never talk about, chapters filled with choices you made out of fear, chapters filled with people you gave too much of yourself to, chapters filled with moments you wish you could rewrite. But those chapters are not stains on your story. They are the foundation of your awakening. Without them, you wouldn't be who you are becoming. You don't heal by erasing the past. You heal by freeing the version of you who lived through it. Tell them, you did well. You survived. You can rest now. Give your past self the love they deserved, but never received. They've been waiting for your forgiveness. Your intuition is awakening again. You can feel it. In the quiet pull toward certain choices, in the gentle resistance toward others, in the sense that life is rearranging itself. Beneath the surface. This is not coincidence. This is alignment. You are being guided toward something meant for you. The universe doesn't shout. It nudges, it whispers, it places the same lesson in front of you until you finally recognize it. And once you do, everything shifts. Your patterns, your relationships, your sense of identity, your understanding of purpose. What you're feeling now is the beginning of that shift. You are not behind. You are not late. Your life is not a race. It is a sacred unfolding. Some souls bloom early. Some bloom late. Some bloom only after surviving 1,000 winters. But every soul blooms exactly when it is meant to. Yours is blooming now. There is a quiet power growing within you. One you may not fully recognize yet. It's the power that comes from choosing yourself for the first time in years. It's the power that comes from letting go of the people who could not love you deeply. It's the power that comes from learning to stand alone without feeling lonely. This power is your rebirth. You've always been searching for home, but home was never a place. Home is the moment. Your nervous system feels safe. Home is the moment. Your heart stops shrinking. Home is the moment. Your soul whispers, yes, this is where I can breathe. And slowly, one breath at a time, you are finding your way back home. Not everyone is meant to stay in your story. Some people were chapters, not the whole book. Some came to teach, some came to challenge, some came to awaken you, and some came only long enough to show you what you no longer want. Letting go is not losing. Letting go is choosing your soul. You are learning to trust the unknown, not because you understand it, but because you're beginning to realize that life has never abandoned you. Every detour had meaning. Every delay had purpose. Every closed door was protecting you from what was too small for the future you're walking into. Sit with yourself gently. Listen to the thoughts that rise to the surface. Many of them are not even yours. They're echoes of old fears, old expectations, old environments. You are allowed to release every belief that no longer feels like truth. Slowly, quietly, you're becoming someone new, someone braver, someone softer, someone more aware. You're not changing into another person. You're returning to the person you were always meant to be, before the world hardened you. Your healing won't look perfect. Some days you'll feel powerful. Some days you'll feel fragile. Some days you'll feel like you're spiraling back into old wounds. But you're not. Healing is not linear. Healing is remembering, releasing, and rising, again and again, until it becomes natural. You're learning to love yourself, not through achievements, not through validation, not through perfection, but through presence. Simple, quiet presence. The kind that whispers, I am enough, even when I feel lost. That kind of love is the beginning of true transformation. The world taught you to judge your worth by how productive you are, how useful you are, how much you can give. But your worth was never meant to be measured. You are valuable simply because you exist, because your soul carries a frequency that the universe needs in order to keep its balance. Sometimes you feel alone, but you've never truly been alone. Every time your heart broke, a new path was opening. Every time you lost someone, you gained a deeper layer of yourself. Every time you felt abandoned, your spirit was being guided toward a gentler destiny. Loneliness was not a punishment. It was preparation. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to slow down. You are allowed to take a breath without explaining why. You are allowed to be a human being in a world demanding constant doing. Rest is not laziness. Rest is recovery. Rest is remembrance. Rest is how your soul comes back into alignment. There are dreams inside you that you buried because you were told they were unrealistic, too big, too bold, too much. But listen carefully. The dreams that scare you are the ones meant for you. Fear is not a sign to walk away. It is a sign that your soul is expanding. You no longer fit the spaces you used to shrink yourself into. That discomfort you feel, that restlessness, that pull towards something more, is your spirit outgrowing. What once felt safe, growth is uncomfortable because it asks you to step into the unknown. Before you feel ready, but you are ready, you are beginning to see what you once overlooked. The small signs, the quiet confirmations, the gentle synchronicities that guide your steps. Life speaks in patterns and whispers, and now that you're listening, you can finally hear the guidance meant for you. Your feelings are not inconveniences, your emotions are not weaknesses, they are messages and signals from your soul that something inside you needs attention, needs understanding, needs compassion. You don't heal by suppressing your emotions, you heal by honoring their truth. There were moments you wanted to give up, moments when life felt too heavy, when breathing felt like a burden, when hope seemed impossible. But you didn't give up. You stayed, you held on, even when you felt empty. Something inside you kept choosing life. That something is strength beyond measure. As you breathe now, feel the shift happening. Your soul is not asking you to become perfect. Your soul is asking you to become present, to return to yourself, to listen to your inner whispers, to trust the quiet guidance you once ignored. This moment is a turning point. You are learning that peace is not found in changing your entire life at once. Peace is found in the small decisions, the gentle boundaries, the honest conversations, the moments of silence, where you choose yourself instead of betraying yourself. Tiny choices shape your destiny. You may not see it yet, but you are becoming more grounded. The fear that used to control you is loosening its grip. The doubts that once paralyzed you are losing their power. You are beginning to move with intention, slowly, steadily, with a calmness that comes from knowing you are protected. Life will test you, not to break you, but to reveal you, to show you where you've been settling, where you've been hiding, where you've been giving away pieces of yourself that were never meant to be given. Every challenge is an invitation to return to your truth. You don't have to understand everything to trust your path. You only have to trust the next step, just one step. Your future does not require perfection or certainty, only willingness. Willingness to try, to risk, to believe, to rise. You've been strong for so long that you forgot. You're allowed to dissolve sometimes, to fall apart, to feel deeply, to let the tears come. Crying is not collapsing. Crying is releasing the weight you were never meant to carry alone. Letting go is a sacred act. You are becoming gentler now. Not weaker, but wiser. Gentleness is not a lack of strength. Gentleness is strength in its purest form. It is choosing compassion over control, presence over perfection, vulnerability over armor. This gentleness is your awakening. There is a deeper intelligence within your body, a knowing that lives beneath your thoughts. Your body remembers every truth you've ignored, every boundary you crossed, every moment your soul whispered, "This isn't right." Now you are finally listening. The healing you're experiencing is not loud, it's not dramatic, it's soft, subtle, quiet, like a sunrise slowly reclaiming the sky. This is how real transformation begins, not with fireworks, but with a steady shift inside your spirit. You are no longer chasing things that cost you your peace. You are no longer seeking validation from people who never valued you. You are no longer fighting to be understood in places your soul has outgrown. This release is not losing. This release is liberation. A new version of you is emerging. A version who speaks truth without fear, who embraces silence without discomfort, who walks in purpose without needing approval. You are rising, slowly, naturally, beautifully, into the person you were always meant to become. There is a version of you who is no longer controlled by old fears. A version of you who wakes up every morning with clarity instead of chaos, with calm instead of urgency, with purpose instead of confusion. That version of you is not far away. It is shaped by every gentle choice you make today. Healing is not always a loud breakthrough. Sometimes healing looks like choosing not to force things, choosing peace instead of proving anything, choosing stillness instead of chasing validation. Sometimes healing is simply the quiet decision to stop abandoning yourself. Maybe your past taught you to hide your feelings, to keep the peace. Maybe you learned to silence your own needs so others could stay comfortable. But today, your soul is asking you to choose differently, to choose yourself, without apology. You deserve people who don't require you to shrink to be loved. You deserve conversations that don't drain you. You deserve connections that feel safe, steady, and true. And the moment you believe that, your life begins to change. There is a kind of peace that arrives only when you stop forcing doors that were never meant to open, when you stop begging for the bare minimum, when you stop returning to places that keep wounding you. Peace begins where self-respect grows. Your journey is not about becoming someone new. It is about remembering who you were before the world told you who you should be, the softness in you, the wonder in you, the strength you forgot you had. You are not rebuilding. You are returning. There comes a moment when your soul becomes tired of repeating the same pain, tired of carrying stories that were never yours to hold, tired of believing you are hard to love simply because someone failed to love you well. That moment is not your breaking. It is your awakening. Growth begins quietly, in the way you no longer follow the pull of old habits, in the way you pause before reacting, in the way you choose peace, even when chaos calls your name. Every small shift is a sign that you are becoming the person your future needs. Take a breath and feel the difference between who you were a year ago and who you are now. You survived days you thought would break you. You walked through storms you never asked for. You kept going. Even when your heart felt heavy. That persistence, that is your strength. Sometimes you think you're failing because you're not moving fast. But healing is not a race. Some chapters require slow unlearning, soft rebuilding, quiet reflection. You are not behind. You are becoming. Your future self is already thanking you for the boundaries you're learning to set, for the truths you're finally facing, for the love you're offering yourself. After years of neglect, you're not just healing. You're rewriting your entire life. If you could see yourself from the eyes of the universe, you would understand how deeply loved you are. No mistake you've made could ever diminish your worth. No detour could ever cancel your destiny. You were never lost. You were being guided. There is a certain strength that grows in you when you stop searching for home in places that keep pushing you away, when you stop waiting for someone else to choose you, see you, or save you. You realize home was always meant to be built inside yourself, and slowly you begin gathering the pieces you once abandoned, your dreams, your softness, your truth, your voice. You realize none of these parts were ever lost. They were only waiting for you to return. Healing becomes easier when you stop romanticizing what hurt you, when you stop calling it love when it was actually fear, when you stop calling it loyalty when it was self-betrayal. You begin to understand that love and pain should never have been the same thing. Your heart is wiser now. It knows what peace feels like. It recognizes the difference between being chosen and being used, between being valued and being tolerated, between being loved and being controlled. And because you know this, you will never settle for the same pain again. Maybe you are not where you want to be yet, but look at how far you've come. Look at the person you're becoming. More aware, more grounded, more honest with yourself. Growth doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it just shows up as you refusing to be who you used to be. There is a gentleness forming in you that isn't weakness. It's wisdom. The kind of wisdom that grows only after deep pain. The kind of clarity that arrives when the noise finally settles. This tenderness in your soul is not a wound. It is a doorway. Life will keep teaching you the same lesson until you finally listen, until you finally choose yourself, until you finally stop asking for love from hearts that do not know how to give it. This time, you are listening, and that changes everything. Take a moment to honor the version of you that kept going when everything inside you wanted to stop, the version of you that kept believing. Even when hope felt distant, that resilience is not something you learned. It is something you were born with. You are stepping into a chapter where your peace is non-negotiable, where your boundaries are clear, where your heart is protected but not closed. A chapter where you choose people who choose you too, fully, softly, and without hesitation. Sometimes the universe removes people, not to hurt you, but to clear the path ahead. Sometimes the ending you feared is the beginning you needed. Sometimes losing something is how you find yourself again. Trust that nothing is taken without something better being prepared. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to slow down. You are allowed to take breaks from being strong all the time. Rest is not weakness. It is how your soul recalibrates. It is how you return home to yourself. There will be days when the old pain tries to visit you again, not because you're going backward, but because healing is a spiral. You revisit things so you can understand them with a stronger mind, a softer heart, and a wiser spirit. You are not repeating, you are rising. Your light has not dimmed, it has simply been covered by layers of fear, exhaustion, expectation, but beneath all of that, your essence still shines, untouched, unchanged, undeniably yours. You are rediscovering what was always inside you. Allow yourself to be guided, not by fear, not by the opinions of others, but by the quiet knowing that lives deep in your chest, that intuitive whisper that always knew the truth, long before your mind accepted it. That voice is your compass. Follow it. Your journey is not linear, because your soul doesn't grow in straight lines. It grows through seasons, through expansions and contractions, through letting go and letting in. You are not lost. You are evolving. And even on the days when you can't feel your progress, your spirit is still moving, your wounds are still closing, your heart is still learning, your path is still unfolding in ways you cannot yet see. Trust the unseen. It has always carried you. You are becoming someone who is no longer controlled by the past. Someone who knows their worth without needing anyone to confirm it. Someone who walks with peace, even when uncertainty surrounds them. This is who you were meant to be. The next chapter of your life will require a softer heart, but stronger boundaries, more faith and less fear, more surrender and less control. You're ready now. even if you don't feel ready. There is a quiet shift happening in your life, one you may not fully see yet, but your spirit feels it. A soft realignment, a gentle calling, a subtle pull toward a version of you that feels more true, more grounded, more whole. Trust that shift. It is not random. It is your soul rearranging your path. Sometimes all you need is one honest moment with yourself, a moment where you stop running from your own emotions, a moment where you finally admit what hurts, what you want, what you're afraid of. Honesty is not the end. It is the beginning of liberation. You are not difficult to love. You simply learned love in a place where affection was inconsistent, where presence was unpredictable, where your needs were dismissed instead of met. You are not asking for too much. You are just asking in the wrong direction. There will come a time when you no longer identify with your wounds, no longer define yourself by what you survived, no longer apologize for the weight you carry. You will look at your past with softer eyes and realize, I didn't deserve that, and I will never tolerate it again. Healing is not about winning battles, it's about no longer fighting the wrong ones. It's about conserving your energy for things that nourish your spirit. Peace, meaning, connection, truth. You're not giving up, you're letting go. Your inner world is changing. The way you speak to yourself, the way you breathe through difficult emotions, the way you ground yourself. Instead of collapsing, these are victories too, quiet ones, but powerful ones. Honor them. You spent years trying to be understood, years trying to prove your heart, years trying to earn love. That should have been given freely. But now, you're learning to walk away from conversations that drain you, rooms that shrink you, relationships that fracture you. This is what growth looks like. You don't need to pretend anymore, not to be stronger than you feel, not to be quieter than you are, not to be smaller, just to make others comfortable. Your authenticity is no longer negotiable. There is a new chapter opening, one where you are not led by fear, but by intention, not by survival, but by alignment, not by insecurity, but by self-respect. You are not rewriting your life, you are reclaiming it. Take a moment to acknowledge the courage it takes to outgrow your old self, to question old beliefs, to walk away from familiar pain. It is brave to leave the version of you that once protected you. It is brave to become who you were always meant to be. Your heart is expanding, wider than your fears, deeper than your doubts, stronger than the stories you once believed about yourself. Every day you choose yourself. You make space for a future that is bigger than your past. There is peace inside you that you haven't fully met yet, a calm presence that doesn't need answers, doesn't fear uncertainty, doesn't rush the process. This peace is your true self, and you are slowly remembering how to return to it. Life is not asking you to be perfect. It is asking you to be present, to show up to each moment with honesty, with openness, with willingness. When you stay present, you stop reliving the past and stop fearing the future. You are learning what truly deserves your energy. Your peace matters, your mind matters, your spirit matters. Anything that consistently wounds you is not part of your path, no matter how familiar it feels. Your life begins to transform the moment you stop negotiating your worth, the moment you stop explaining why you deserve love, respect, loyalty, gentleness. Worth is not earned, it is remembered. You are meant to feel safe in your own body, in your own heart, in your own silence, and you are getting closer to that safety every day, not because the world changed, but because you did. You don't need to force healing. You don't need to rush alignment. You don't need to chase clarity. Everything meant for you will find you When you're ready to receive it, your only job is to stay open. The deeper you go within, the more you realize that nothing outside you has the power to define who you are. No person, no memory, no mistake. Your essence has always been untouched. The universe is not testing you. It is preparing you. Strength is built in the stretch. Wisdom is shaped in the waiting. Courage grows in the dark, long before it becomes visible in the light. Trust the preparation. It is sacred. You are learning that silence is not emptiness. It is nourishment. It is where you reconnect with your intuition, your truth, your center. Silence is where your soul finally gets a chance to speak. You are stepping into a season where clarity replaces confusion, where you no longer chase answers that steal your peace, where you no longer cling to things that drain your spirit. Your soul is guiding you toward what aligns and gently pulling you away from what does not. There is something powerful about choosing yourself without guilt, about honoring your boundaries without apology, about saying, "This is not for me," even when your voice trembles. Self-love isn't loud. It's honest. You once carried the belief that you had to earn your place in people's lives, that you had to prove your value, prove your worthiness, prove your right to stay. But now you know the right people never make you prove what is already obvious. You are learning to let life unfold, instead of forcing it, to let love flow, instead of chasing it, to let healing unravel. At its own pace, ease is not laziness. It is trust in motion. Your heart is soft, but it is no longer naive. You love deeply, but you're no longer blind. You give generously, but you no longer give to those who only take. This is maturity, a balanced, grounded form of love. There is a moment when you realize you don't miss the past. You just miss the version of you who didn't know heartbreak yet. But even that version of you would be proud of how far you've come, of how much you've survived, of how gently you're rebuilding. Healing teaches you that you don't need closure from anyone else. Not from the one who hurt you, not from the one who left, not from the one who never explained. Closure happens the moment you decide to stop reopening old doors. The universe responds to the energy you choose. When you choose peace, you attract clarity. When you choose honesty, you attract truth. When you choose self-respect, you attract people who respect you too. Everything begins with what you choose within. You are no longer living just to survive. You are learning to actually live, to feel deeply, to think clearly, to breathe freely, to move intentionally. Life is shifting from endurance to alignment. There will be days when the healing feels heavy, days when the memories return, days when your heart aches for answers. But remember, healing is not supposed to feel good every day. It is supposed to free you. Your future self is watching you right now, smiling with gratitude for every boundary you enforce, every truth you accept, every step you take toward becoming whole again. You are creating a life that the next version of you will be proud to inherit. You don't have to be fearless to move forward. You just have to be willing to try, willing to stay, willing to grow. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is choosing to continue. Despite it, there is peace you haven't met yet, love you haven't felt yet, joy you haven't experienced yet. Your story is still expanding. Your soul is still unfolding. What you've lost is not the end of your story. It is the clearing for something truer. You are no longer attracted to chaos disguised as passion. You're no longer entertained by uncertainty disguised as mystery. You're no longer drawn to people who confuse love with control. Your spirit wants calm now, and calm is what it will receive. Every time you choose silence over reaction, you gain strength. Every time you choose rest over running, you gain clarity. Every time you choose yourself over approval, you gain freedom. This is how you rebuild. Choice by choice. Life becomes softer when you stop blaming yourself for things you couldn't control. When you stop carrying guilt that was never yours. When you stop expecting yourself to heal faster just to make others comfortable. Give yourself permission to be human. You are stepping into a chapter where your soul leads and your fear follows, where clarity rises and doubt quiets, where your inner wisdom speaks louder than the noise around you. You are finally listening to yourself. There is something sacred about the way you keep rising, not loudly, not dramatically, but steadily, quiet, determined, enduring. Your resilience is your superpower. You are walking away from what no longer feels like home, not out of anger, but alignment, not out of bitterness, but clarity. You are choosing spaces that hold you, not break you. Your soul is tired of pretending to be okay when it's not, and that honesty, that raw transparency, is the first step toward real healing. Your truth will always set you free. You have survived all the nights you swore you wouldn't. You have carried yourself through storms that would have drowned a weaker version of you. Do not underestimate the strength it took to keep breathing. You deserve a life that feels safe, a heart that feels held, a mind that feels calm, a space where your spirit does not need to shrink just to belong, and you are getting closer to that life every day. You are learning to love yourself in ways you once begged others to love you, with patience, with kindness, with understanding, with presence. You are becoming your own safe place. You no longer fear letting go, because now you understand. Anything that leaves was never meant to stay. Anything that stays will never make you beg. You are learning the art of peaceful detachment. Your transformation is not loud. It is steady, honest, rooted. It is happening in conversations you no longer entertain, in patterns you no longer repeat, in people you no longer chase. You are rising quietly but undeniably. Your soul is finally healing from things you don't talk about, from disappointments, abandonments, silent heartbreaks, unseen struggles, but the healing is happening, even if others can't see it. You are learning that peace is not found by controlling everything. Peace is found in trusting yourself, in trusting that you can handle whatever comes. This trust is your foundation now. You are becoming someone who no longer lives on autopilot, someone who pays attention, someone who listens deeply, someone who moves with intention instead of impulse. Your presence is returning to you. Even the parts of you that feel broken are still sacred, still worthy, still capable of light. Your cracks are not flaws. They are openings. You don't need to rush toward the future. What is meant for you is already making its way, quietly, softly, steadily. All you need is patience with your own unfolding. You are stepping into a timeline where love feels gentle, where your mind feels clear, where your days feel meaningful, and your heart feels safe. You are not dreaming. You are aligning. There is a version of you who trusts life more, who carries less fear, who smiles without heaviness, who wakes up grateful, who moves through the world with quiet confidence. You are becoming that version. Allow yourself to be guided by something deeper than logic, guided by soul, guided by intuition, guided by the whisper that has never been wrong. Your inner knowing is your oldest truth. You are learning to feel your emotions without drowning in them, to face your fears without being controlled by them, to hold your pain without letting it define you. This is emotional mastery. And you're closer than you think. One day you will look back and realize that nothing was wasted. Not the tears, not the heartbreak, not the confusion, not the detours. Everything shaped you. Everything strengthened you. Everything prepared you. Your life is not behind schedule. Your journey is not delayed. You are right on time, arriving exactly where your soul needs to be. The timing of your life is sacred. Your peace is your priority now, not approval, not validation, not perfection, just peace, the kind that grows inside you and radiates outward. You are learning to love yourself in moments you once abandoned yourself, to show up even when you feel tired, to choose compassion over criticism. This is self-love in its purest form. Your story is not over. You are only entering a wiser, deeper, calmer chapter, a chapter where you rise with intention, move with clarity, and grow with grace. Your journey continues beautifully. If this message found you, it wasn't an accident. Your soul brought you here because you're ready for the next chapter of your healing. If you want more messages like this, subscribe this channel, share this with someone who needs it, and let this be your reminder. You are growing, you are transforming, and your journey is only beginning.